Hi there. Now this is the llama. So the llama is also very popular. I went ahead and did a blue background because I thought I don't need to bore you all with me sitting here just painting backgrounds, because I figure that you're all pretty good with backgrounds, I've seen. So what I'm going to do is I've made up some of the blue that'll come in your pack with some of the white paint here, and I've made a little bit of a lighter blue. So I'm also making a grey, so I've added a tiny hint, really tiny hint of black into the white, just to make like a bit of a grey wash. And why I want you to make a wash is because I want this to dry as quickly as possible. So why are we putting grey on here, you say? That's all a little strange, Katie, you say. Well, what I want us to do is I want us to add a little bit of depth to our painting. So I'm giving us a nice base that we can then come in and do some white fur effects on top of that. So I get a bit carried away when I'm painting and I forget that I'm filming for you beautiful people. So there I go. Now the grey doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't even matter if there's some patches coming through. Once again, I'm just using that same sort of medium style brush. If you've ordered a pack like this, I think you definitely would have a brush at home. And if you don't, well, you could order from me, but I am waiting on stock. So stock is still not going to arrive until April for the brushes, sadly, the pack that I like. So I'm coming in with the grey, so I'm going to come around the mouth or the muzzle area there. So funny how we always say llamas are really cute, because don't they actually, they spit at each other. It's not very nice, is it? So you might get a few drips if you are watering down to a wash, so it's always good to keep some paper towel. Actually, it's always good to keep some paper towel or a bit of an old rag or something if mum's got one, or ladies if you're painting, an old chucks or something. It's always really handy. So see how I did that around the side? So I'm sort of flicking in, giving some nice effects there. So remember, my series is all about fun. So I'm not about serious techniques. If you're after serious techniques, I might be the wrong artist for you, but I'm all about enjoying your painting. I think there's enough seriousness in the world at the moment, so I want you to have some fun. So I'm coming in here. See how I always follow the direction of the line? Now, if I wanted, I don't even really need to fill that in properly, because we are just going to be putting white paint back on top of that. So I'm just going to spread that out, because for the purpose of this video, I just want it to dry really fast. Or as my son Oliver would say, super fast, Mum. Super fast. So there we go. Okay, so while I still have the grey on my brush, because like I say, I'm a little bit of a lazy artist, so I'm going to come into the white tub. So always just try and stay around the top so you can keep your white quite clean. See how I work my palette? So I have a little bit of black there, and even as the black is drying, if you add a little bit of water to that, it will allow you to activate that colour. So activate means start fresh, like freshen it up. So now I'm going to come in around the muzzle. So this grey is going to be a bit thicker and a darker grey to that background we were doing. smoothing out those lines. Yep, nice. Okay, it's getting a bit late here in the studio, but I really want to get these videos out to you all, so sorry if I look a bit tired. I'm not, because you're making me happy. So I've done that, so now I'm going to use some of the pink here. And I'm going to come in and I think I'm going to change it to that one. So I'm going to do lots of pink actually. So I'm going to, and you can do this at home too. You don't have to be totally restricted to what I've done. I admire you for changing things and taking your own initiative, taking a chance. So then I'm going to come in. So essentially what we're worried about at this point is just getting the base happening. It's all about the base, It really is in a painting, not like music. It's all about the bass. Well, the bass player thinks so. So I like bass. So what I'm doing is it's all about the base because you get your base colour down, and then once you have your base colour down, you can work with anything really on top of that. So I'm going to open the purple now. So I've got this purple here. So the purple has been pre-mixed with a bit of white because it's quite a dark purple, that one. So once again, I'm being quite quick, but take your time. Enjoy the whole art experience. All the canvases in this home series should take about 1.5 hours to paint for most novice painters. And if you're an experienced painter, well, gee, you could drag that out for a week if you wanted to. Because see, you've got heaps of paint here, so I've tried to be very, very kind with giving you lots of paint. So coming in, I'm going to do some green leaves. I can already see something I've missed. I dance around a painting, don't I? Sometimes I go from the top to the bottom, to the middle, to the top again, darting around. So I'm coming around the love heart here. So what I might add to these videos is a how to draw them section as well. So if you can't, if you're not able to get the packs, at least I can show you how to draw them to paint them, because you might be able to just fix them up at home with some Sharpie pens, you know, Sharpie colouring pens. I love them. They're always quite effective. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to come up still with this larger brush. And you may have noticed I didn't put any water on this brush at this stage. So I'm coming in. Let's do a quick time check. 9 minutes now, so that's good. And I'm just covering on top of that, and see how I'm not even minding if some of the grey comes through. I actually like that. I think it can look quite effective having different tones coming in. I will be a little bit careful when I come in around here. So if you really wanted to, this could be a time where you could get your smaller brush. See where I choose to go slowly? So I'm coming slowly in around here and around the eyes. I had a beautiful school order canvases for their OSH. So if any OSHers are out of activities these holidays, or not prepared for not being able to have any excursions, if you want to give me a contact on my website, Art Class Brisbane, and hopefully I can get some canvases out to you. I do school workshops as well, which is so fun. I really do love kids. You brighten my day. You really do. They make me feel like a star. So I'm coming around. Okay, so then I'm going to piece in around those edges. So I beat all about the big brush for this one. So then I'm just going to layer up. Yep. So keep layering. And once again, I quite like a bit of grey coming through because I think it adds to the fur effect, because llamas are indeed furry. Gee, I've really got to work on my script, haven't I? I always love how llamas hold themselves so straight. They seem like quite a proud animal, aren't they? Okay, so now I'm going to come in here. I'm adding to this series all the time, so I think I'm always going to have these packs available online for those who can't make the workshops, because sometimes that's just what happens. So yeah, I'll be changing this up quite a bit. So now I'm going to come in and do some quick circles, and now's the time where I'm going to do like a little half wipe on my brush, because I don't want too much paint on my brush, because I want to give like a little bit of a bubbled effect there. Just to add a little bit of interest to the background. Okay, looking good. So now I think I'm going to open up. I don't want to do the black just yet, and I'll tell you why. Because once you've got black on your brush, even when you wash it, it can take a bit of time to come out. So I generally try and wait until the very end. So I've just done a few dashes inside these flowers just to add some interesting centers to them. So they're not going to be as strong as that once we put the black lines on top. So washing out that brush again. Okay, so now we're into the finale, and I'm right on time, I see. I'm such a deadline girl. My media pass is coming through. So there I'm going to do my eyes here. Yeah, I worked in the media for like 20-something years doing art and illustration, graphic design. So fun. But then the world of brushes was calling me, and I love it. Okay, so then I think that's why a lot of my paintings look quite illustrative, because of my background. So that probably makes sense to a lot of people when they see my art. So I'm going to have a couple of art sales in the next few weeks too online for my original canvases. So check that out. I've got a Instagram account, Katie the Artist. So I'm going to have some of my pieces from my fish series have been really marked way down. Okay, so I'm coming around those flowers there. This is good to look in the camera, because then I add the art so that I can see. And if you're at home, well, you are at home if you're watching this, you are going to be maybe taking a photo as you go with your camera, or say, Mum, can I borrow your camera, your phone? Because it's really good to look at your art through someone else's eyes, which is like sometimes, I've done a bit of a side, it's a bit hard to get that perfect there with coming around the side, but see? And so if you were to use a finer brush, you would get a finer line, of course, but sometimes finer brushes can be a little bit difficult too. Sometimes a bigger brush is easier, just until you get your brush skills up there. So coming back in on top, once again, you'll have time at home, so pop it out in the sun for a little bit, or you might be able to, if it's a rainy day, you might be able to get a parent to, please, a parent, don't you do it, dry it with a hairdryer from a safe area. Okay, so I'm coming in here. Lovely. I really like how that's come up. So, again, totally different to the one over here, but that's art, isn't it? Everything is original. No two are the same, a bit like people, really. I think that's why we're all drawn to art, because it's originality. Okay, and there's the llama. All right, so tune in, and next one's going to be the sloth. Okay, bye, love you, stay safe. Mwah.